So these are simply the stack of pieces that are going to be for the 1.5 inch nailer, 3/4 inch top board, whatever the finished wood will be for the steps, the stairs on the in the house from the entryway, and then bar, whatever that means. So I think it means to relax. Learn how to speak Spanish over here, and at the beach house. But anyway, yeah, right now I'll just route her in a groove so that hopefully, and I need to go check this real quick, might as well do that now. Hopefully it fits just over the weld for when the steel guys come. So if I go and like, you see how the welds protrude, yeah, not very much, but see, just a little bit. And then that way I can actually get right up snug. So it looks like it teeters slightly, but not very much. So I'll deepen that groove ever so little bit, so that way I just run it through, and if there's a weld just a little bit bigger than that, it'll be in the clear. Then I'll be able to line all these up, and then from the bottom step to the top, I'll be able to figure out the distance that each step is from the next based on the plan for how to finish the steps. So I'll have to do also probably a full profile for a plan if I were to do this job, which I may, is I would get another, well, this is just a section view, right? So that would be all the way across, just a 2 by whatever, nominal, so 1.5 inch thick nailer. And then on the top, that piece right there, that would be some kind of nice whatever accents the house, finish wood, 3/4 inch. And so that one would be, let me zoom back out, a little bit of a, probably would look good for the grain pattern, definitely. There's a 45 miter here, and if that scoot all the way to the front, that piece would go down, and then a 45-degree miter there, where all you have to shim underneath the top step if I have to raise it a little bit, because some of these might not be perfect, which is okay. I would be able to raise it either underneath there, which would close the gap under here. So I'll have to do just a quick, what's the average for all the steps first, for how big or small. And that way, if there is one that's like an outlier, that's just a greater distance that, you know, unfortunately, we gotta do what we gotta do, I'll know how to make them look great, but be consistent. And so what I mean is that if there's one step that has to have like a bigger leap or a smaller leap, if there's like a really short step, that's really gonna make the bottom go down. If I need to cover a really tall step, then that's where this part's gonna have to get raised. This is just, I'm just sharing my thoughts. That part has to get raised, which means there's more of a distance between the top of this finished board right there and the top of the steel step. So the underlying structure to the top of the step, whatever the very tallest that needs to be in order to make this average work for all the stairs, that's the baseline for how I need to cut this piece that has the 45 at the top and the 45 at the bottom. And so that way, once it's all wrapped, you know, here's our stepping surface, shim it accordingly, use construction adhesive so it doesn't like get all squeaky. Go ahead and secure the wood to the wood via wood glue. And so again, with the shims underneath, then as long as you do a little bit of wood glue with a good secure fashion of fastening, then at the end you'll just have a box where these steps all look like they're just solid pieces of wood. That's where, you know, to cut these 4-foot treads at a perfect straight line, that's going to take a little bit of extra time for precision, which is why these things cost just a little bit more. But you would much rather have, when you do a house like this especially, you would much rather have like the fine finish being of quality rather than you spent so much getting this far just go hire old boy down the street. You don't want to do that for these last steps. On a huge project like this, you want to have the best finish workers that you could possibly afford. And they're worth it. So trust me on that. I will show you once I cut these. I'll take more pictures, place them, and then start with whatever time I got left to want to do this today. Go ahead and start measuring. But for today, I need to chamfer that out for the weld, put all the steps for this run. The first run has 18. Figure out what I want to do for that. Maybe I'll just make a longer strip, not sure yet. And then reassess whether I'm gonna keep working or go home, because I'm getting kind of tired. All right, appreciate you.